What's up, guys? Happy Red Friday. It's the Friday before the Super Bowl. Go Chiefs! So, I thought I would hop on here and briefly share my experience this morning at the gym. So, the more I talk to people, the more I find just how similar we are and the way it's just weird. So, I don't know, it's a small world. So, I'll explain. So, as I was at the gym this morning, first let me say, I don't know why, but I went to bed late last night because I was working on some things, and then I already kind of felt like, you know what, I wanna get to the gym a little bit earlier, today, and so I did. I got there probably about 30 minutes earlier than normal, right? And so that in itself was just a little different. So I went to bed late, and then I went to the gym earlier. So it kind of doesn't make sense, but it did later on. So as I was working out, I had someone come up to me, and I've seen her in the gym all the time, and so you just, you go there at the same time, you kind of, see the same crowd, who's usually there, and I'm a people watcher kind of a little bit, so I don't know, man, I see that person do that or this person do that, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool or that's neat, and funny thing about that is like people will come up to me and they're like, man, I need to do what you're doing, or hey, next week, like, hey, I'm gonna start incorporating some of the stuff that you do. So it's just funny how we all think about like each other the same way, like, oh man, that guy is this, and like they're thinking about that about me, and vice versa, right? And so anyways, she came up to me in the middle of my workout, and she was like, hey, like, what's your name? And so we introduced ourselves, and it's funny because like the maybe a week before, I just felt impressed to go up and just say hi to her and tell her, hey man, like, good job, because again, you see the people that are there. First of all, just anyone that's there at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't know, I just have an appreciation for them because most of them are waking up before work, and they're going and they're putting in work. So whether that's just what time they like to go, or whether that's the only time that they have, or it's the most convenient, either way, man, to me, it's, I don't know. Again, I see those people, and it pushes me and motivates me to do what I'm doing, right? And so when she introduced herself to me, I kind of was like, oh, I won't say names or nothing, but I was like, hey, so are you, Samoan, or and she's, oh yeah, 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 I am, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so I don't know, a good number of people that go to church happen to be, someone. So like usually you can name drop and be like, hey, like, this person or this person, and it's just so interesting the way that works. And so um, as she was explaining to me, she said, hey, like, because you are, a member, then I'll share this with you. And so she's like, I just felt the impression today just to come up and introduce myself to you and to say hi. And so again, it's just small world, and just the way things work, because she knows like a lot of the people that I know. And so I don't like to use the term non-active. So like there's no non-active. There's people that just don't go to church as much, and so I would say maybe less active, but non-active, I don't really like to give that term to people. And so, anyways, she kind of briefly explained to me, her background and her history and stuff like that, and where she's from, and who she knows. I'm like, oh my gosh! And again, it's so weird because you uh you know the same people, and so you're like, oh wow, and so it's just interesting because she's like, hey, because you are a church member, then I don't feel bad sharing this with you. And so I shared with her, hey, you know what, like, when I feel impressed to go up and say hi to people, not always do I, but I'm usually pretty good about it. And then so it's ironic because like I told her, like the week before, I felt prompted to go up and say hi to her. And if I see, especially if I see new people there, or if I see like someone who's new, like their first session that I haven't seen, and they're working with a trainer, I really try and make it a point of emphasis to go up to that person and just tell them, hey man, like good workout, or hey, thanks for letting me share the gym with you today, or just something like that. Whether it's like just to get a laugh or to whatever, because again, man, you really never know what people are going through. You really never know what battles they're facing, and you never know if like I said, I've not seen them before, so they chose that day to show up to the gym, and so maybe if by me, welcoming them or saying hi to them is like a motivation or uplifting for them to come back and do it again, or maybe if they're hey man, a lot of people when they start are out of shape and they're like, oh okay, and they want to give up, like just by me being just again welcoming them to them, and then encouraging them to, hey, you're doing good, maybe that pushes them to, okay, you know what, okay, I can do this, and come back another time. And so kind of helps me transition to like two places that I really love is the gym, and I love going to church. Like there's some days that yes, I don't feel like going to church. We go a little bit earlier than we used to, so it's a little more challenging. Sounds kind of weird because I wake up and I go to the gym 5 o'clock in the morning, but I don't know, going to church, like that's just like my sleeping day, I guess. And so anyways, I like people at I like people at the gym and church, those specific places, because those places are where you're actively trying to better yourself, right? You're trying to change, and you're just trying to be better, right? Trying to be healthier, trying to be fit, whether it be physically fit, spiritually fit, mentally fit, all around. You're just trying to be better. And so again, it's just interesting how you have like those two places, and sometimes those two places can be um, misunderstood. Like there's individuals that say, hey, the people that go to church are the people that think that they're perfect and they're better than everyone else, and that's like so far from the truth. Like so many times when people go up and share their testimonies, I'm not happy that they are sharing things that they've maybe overcome or that they've gone through as far as the negative side of it, but it does help you put things in perspective, like man, like so you can look at that person and say, man, like they have it all together. Or you can be like, man, I want my family to be like that family. Like man, my like sometimes we argue and we bicker or we have disagreements, and like you think that on the outside that that particular individual or that family, you're like, man, they're perfect, right? And then you hear things and they share things and you're like, wow, we are so much more alike than I thought. And church is exactly the same way. I think it's more correct for you to say that church is the hospital for the sick, because like everybody there is trying to, even if you overcome something, it doesn't matter. You still have to, if you have addictions or if you have things that you've overcome previously, you still have to overcome that every single day, because some things are just are that, you know what I mean? Whether it's food or whether it's alcohol or pick whatever it is, we have these things that are available to us, and especially if it's something that we can't control, as far as like if we're around it all the time, you still have to resist the temptation every single day. And so, like going to the gym, people can have the belief that, oh, people are there, they just want to go and work out, and they think that they look good, and they're just they're so great, and they're so buff, and they're this and they're that, and it's really not. The more people that I talk to, the more I find out that there's some sort of something that happened in their life, and so the gym is a place for them to, in a healthy way, use it as an outlet to get rid of all kinds of negative things, right? And so again, we may see this person and they have a good physical appearance, but you have no idea how many bad things happen to them, or that they're going through, that they've worked through, And so the hard work and the pain and sacrifice and all those other things that got that person, like, we only see the finished product. Or if you're seeing someone that's in the beginning of their fitness journey, you see that and you may, judge them in a negative light, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that person's here, or, you know what I mean, and just those other horrible thoughts. So again, I just have a lot of respect for individuals, and a lot of love for the individuals that are in both of those places, because you're literally putting yourself in a place where you are recognizing that you're not happy with the way you are and that you want to change, and you're taking steps to not just like, I want to change, but you're taking steps to actually make real change in your life. And again, I just have a lot of respect, and that just helps uplift me and gives me motivation for when I see those people that are putting in their work, day in and day out. So, anyways, going back to like why I woke up early, it's so interesting because I probably talked with this person for about 10 or 15 minutes, and my watch was going, and so it's, you can believe what you want, but so I don't normally get to the gym the time that I got there, and especially usually if I go to bed late, I probably might sleep in a little bit. So I went to bed late. I woke up extra early with the intent of going to the gym early. Had a conversation with this individual about, let's just say it, about the gospel, and how it's impacted, how it's impacted their life. And I got to share, a little bit of my testimony with her. And like I said, man, the Savior, sometimes when you think, because you're just going through the motions, and I'm speaking for me, sometimes, you just try and do the right thing, and you're just kind of like humming along, and then sometimes you just think to yourself, like, man, like, am I really making a difference, or am I really making an impact, or why am I doing what I'm doing, because it doesn't really seem like it's making any difference at all, right? And so sometimes you may start to doubt and say, hey, am I really supposed to be doing this? And then you have those moments where it's not just a coincidence, right? That person felt prompted. You might say, like, hey, someone whispered, hey, to go up and say hi, introduce himself, and then for us to talk about the gospel. So I don't think that's just an accident. I don't think it's just an accident that I went to bed, or that I woke up early and got to the gym, because funny story is, my move goal, even with that being in there, I still crushed it from what my goal was. And so it must have meant to be. So again, I just love the gospel. It brings people together. You can share your stories. You can be able to learn from one another, and lean on one another, and it's just awesome. So if you guys have any stories like that, where it's just kind of not a coincidence, like I said, and then like there was a reason for it to be, please, hey man, I'd like to know in the comments, and just kind of briefly share, what your experience is. And hey, if you are one of those early risers and early go-getters that are there in the gym in the morning, like I said, man, so much respect for you, because yeah, it's not easy sometimes. But the plus side is usually there's I don't know, like a third of the people that are there. So there's like the same 30 people or whatnot that are at the gym, and that's a good thing, because you got more space to yourself. So, anyways, thought I would share that with you guys today. Hopefully, all of you guys are having a fantastic Red Friday, and I will again end with Go Chiefs. All right, love you guys. Bye.